Okay. Yay, we're working. Okay. What is up, you guys? Hey, I'm Erin, and give me a second because I'm going to share this in a couple of places. How's it going? It's Monday, and we are talking about being creative today. So, okay, hang on. Okay, all right. Hey. So, actually, if you're watching, let me know. If you are watching, let me know that you're here and like type a comment below, and let me just make sure I can see comments. They'll pop up over here, but it's distracting me to see my face twice. So, what I wanted to talk about today, I'm sitting here in my little garage studio with some of my own artwork, which is awesome and amazing because this is a place that I never thought I could actually be. Not in my garage, but running a business, doing my own thing, working from home, creating what I want to create, and essentially living my dream, okay? And this is important because a lot of us grew up with this idea that we could not do this, and if you were like me, you probably have a similar story. Like or maybe you have a totally different story, but I did everything by the book, right? I want to share with you a little bit of my story about why that did not work out for me and how I got here. And the way that I got here can actually help you do the thing that you want to do as well. So it felt appropriate to share this with you because this stuff is being passed down through generations. It's happening in our schools, and our kids are doomed to repeat it if we don't fix this, okay? So I've been an artist all my life. This is what I do. And I've always done it, and it's always come very easily to me. But this does not fit in a school environment, as I'm sure you can understand. And if you've got kids and kids are in school, you already know, like, they get, like 45 minutes of this a week or something, much like recess. It's absurd, and it's another topic. But my point is, I would get through my math classes or my history classes or whatever other classes that were not art by like doodling. And I would like doodle down the margins, and I would doodle inside my books, and I would doodle on my binder, and I mean, like, everything was decorated. And what that did was it simply helped me just pay attention, okay? And if you're a creative person, you get this and you're like, yeah, me too. Our brains are built differently. We function differently. There's more gray matter in there or something I was reading. And we just, the schools are designed to fit you in a box. And if you don't fit in a box that they've created, then you're kind of screwed. Okay. Now I figured out a way to work the system, and Brandis is here. And I was able to make good grades. I knew how to, if you're a smart person, like, you can make the grades, right? But I would do the thing where you just like cram before the test and then go take the tests, and I would luckily make an A, but I never really learned how to study because I didn't have to, and because I didn't care. And so I went through school, and I checked all the boxes, right? Like, we made the straight A's, and we graduated top 10%, and we got into the good school so that we could get the good job, so that we could graduate, or get into that ladder pipeline of corporate whatever, and you got the marketable skills so that you could do all that, and so you could be successful, so you could buy the house and have the family and the dogs and the blah 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 blah, right? That is what we are taught It is cookie cutter. I did it and I was miserable. Okay? I had it all. I still have it all. But I was living in a world that I had created based on what somebody else had told me was the formula for success. And I know a lot of us have done that because it's what we were told. And when you're 18 and you're going to college and you don't know what the hell you're doing, it's normal to listen to the people that know more than you and be like, okay, that makes sense. And so you go do that, right? And nobody questions if that's what they actually want. There was not the opportunity for more art classes in elementary school or middle school or high school. Like there was like the one, and you could do it once a day or once a week if it was like an elective or whatever it was. But if you're built for this, that's not enough. Like it's not even close. And for me, it was like, let me get everything else out of the way. And my poor parents, because I saved like the dumb algebra class until like the very last thing I did in college because I just didn't want to. It's not that I couldn't. I just didn't care and I just didn't want to do it. And like, could I please just go paint? And I found the marketable skill, right? I became a graphic designer and I was a designer for like 12, 15 years, something like that. And that was like the closest thing I could get, right? Because you could major in painting or drawing or whatever, but like who's gonna get a job majoring in painting or drawing? Okay, it was not a thing. Maybe it was, but if your parents are paying for school, they're like, we need you to do something that's gonna get you a job, right? Totally normal. It's a little different now. And I'm excited that it's different now because I think there's so much more opportunity and so much more potential for our kids to really grasp their own gifts. For you as a grown-up, I'm 36. Like for you as an adult, to change your life now, whether you're 40 or 50 or about to retire or whatever, like the internet is your playground. And it's really cool because now you can do this. And like, if this is your thing, you can do this and you can reach the entire globe and you can share anything you want to do with the rest of the world. What the problem is, and that's great. And we'll talk about that later and how you can do that. 'Cause it makes your life really fun and enjoyable and happy. And like when you do the thing that you really want to be doing, you're happier. Shocker. Spoiler alert, you're happier. Okay? And that's really, really cool. So, hey Terry, thanks for joining. The schools have not changed. Okay? The schools are starting to adopt what I was talking about a few months ago, which was growth mindset. And growth mindset is amazing and wonderful. But schools are just now getting on board, right? And there's still, there's the whole teacher thing and everybody's trapped into these like standardized tests, right? And it really sucks. My kid has been afraid of those standardized tests since kindergarten. Like that's how much it filters down and that's how much like they're having to do about this. It's a mess. And it's that whole system and the fact that there's no recess and the fact that there's very little electives, and I'm just talking about elementary school, it kills creativity. And for the kids that have this natural talent, this natural desire, this craving to be more creative, and I don't care if it's painting or music or theater or dance or whatever, the opportunity is limited because we only have so many hours in the day. We need to cram in math and science and history. Okay? And I'm not knocking those, but there's always a more creative way to teach these things than sitting a bunch of kids behind a desk. There just is, okay? And how many of you were kids that you went to art class or you went to even PE, oh my gosh, or lunch was your favorite part of the day, or like whatever it was, but so many kids out there are wanting more of these creative classes and they're not provided for. They're not given the opportunity for. There's nowhere to go to get more of this. And it's sad and it's killing creativity. Why is that a problem? Because your kids are not going to reach their full potential. When they cannot be creative, they think they have to be something else, okay? They think they have to go into some corporate life and, hey, Constance, and they don't think that they have permission to be who they really are, because the school tells you that you must do these things in order to be successful. And society tells us you must do this and this and this and this and have a perfect credit score and save 20% and make sure you have, you know, whatever, diversify your portfolio. And all those things are great, but we're missing the point. We're missing the point of being who we actually are, okay? Like taking a chance and being wrong about something are concepts that we learn very, very young, that are not okay. Like, and if you've watched this space for any length of time, I've gone through this entire process with my 7-year-old, trying to get him to just be okay with making mistakes. He's in 2nd grade, you guys. Like, we've been working on this for a year, okay? So it's instilled at a very, very young age that mistakes are not okay and risks are way too risky. Let's not do that. We don't want to mess up. We don't want to disappoint. We don't want to learn anything, essentially, because that's what mistakes help us to do, right? And we carry that into adulthood. And so we're afraid to take a risk in a job. We're afraid to change careers. We're afraid to have kids. We're afraid to buy the house. We're afraid to move somewhere else. We're just afraid. We're afraid all the time because we don't want to mess it up, right? Because we're on this trajectory of little checkpoints. I got to do this first. I got to do that next. I got to do this, and then this, and then this, and then I will be happy, right? Once I do all the things, once I check all the boxes, then I will be happy. And then I will feel success. Like, what are we actually going for here? Okay, because I did all those. And at the end of the day, I was like, I feel bad because this is not enough. Like, I have the job, I have the degree, I have the husband, I have the house, I even have the baby. This isn't enough. Why? It's because I wasn't being myself. Okay, this is me. This is me, this always has been me, and this always will be me. And it's taken me 3 years to get back to that place, okay? So there's a lot of undoing that needs to happen. But you know, doing it all exactly right just so we can accomplish some goal that somebody else created is stifling. It's killing us. And I think really, like, the point of what I would really want to talk about is one, to share with you that, like, you're not alone. You're not alone, even if you're still trapped in corporate and you're like, I hate my life. I really wish I could be doing X, Y, Z. Then please know, I was there. And I was like, why is this not fulfilling me? Why? Like, I chose every single piece of this. Someone else told me ABC is going to equal happiness. Why is it not? And I was so confused. And we think the answer is money. And we think the answer is kids, maybe, or another pet, or a bigger house, or more stuff, or we come up with all kinds of things that are like, this is going to make me happy, that's going to make me happy, all I need is this, all I need is that, and we just keep setting these next goals based on what the outside world is telling us, okay? What I challenge you to do is go inside. What is your heart saying would make you happy? And it might be nuts, like it might just feel crazy. Like for me, I was like, I just want to sit and draw and make stuff. Like one grown-up is just like, I just want to play. I just want to play. But that's where we need to go. Okay, that's how we undo this. And you know, chances are, if the thing that comes up when you ask yourself, what is it that I want to do? If money was no object and I didn't have to go to work and everything was taken care of, and like, what would I actually sit down and do? If your answer is play music or paint or draw or create or write or whatever, then that's a really big hint, okay? And because it did not fit in the box of school and success, you shoved it under the rug, just like me. Okay, you're not alone. And chances are really good that you're not doing that today because society told you that that could not be. that could not be a thing. And I'm here to tell you today, it can be, it is a thing, and you can do it. And it's a wonderful, wonderful direction to take your life to actually fulfill the dream that you've always had as a kid. Okay. So let's talk about kids for a second. If you're a parent, if you have kids, if you're watching them in public school, hey Nance, and they're not getting that creativity level that they're obviously needing, you can see it, and you know, you ask them what the best part of their day was, and they're like, oh, I really liked music, or I really liked art, or I really liked, they're not saying math and science, which I'm sure kids do. I was not one of those kids. I don't really get those kids, but yay. But even those subjects, we could make so much more fun if we just got out of the box, okay? If we just got out of the books. And I love books and I love reading, but mixing it up, being more hands-on. And I could go on and on about the schools, but as a parent, okay, you need to know that anything is possible now, okay? We have the internet, we have social media, we have kids making millions on YouTube playing with toys. I'm not kidding, because my kid watches those kids and all they're doing is playing with toys and they're making bank, okay? Literally playing. So that is proof that you can do anything you want and make it into your dream, okay? And as a parent, I know it's very scary to think, what if my kid doesn't want to go to college? What if my kid doesn't want to follow like all of this? I challenge you to look around you and notice how many people in corporate America or wherever country you're in are actually happy with that job, okay? Millennials are changing the system. I love it. I think it's amazing, and I think that's going to continue to be the case. So what can you do? How can you talk to your kids? Encourage them. Encourage them to keep chasing after what they want to go for, okay? If that means extra activities outside of school to boost their creativity, do it. Go to there's free stuff everywhere. I just scared myself with my own children. Thought they were looking at me through the window. I turned around. Oh, there's a person there. You know, I just think there's so much more potential out there. My kid loves race cars and he loves sports. Those are pretty timeless things. I'm really excited to see what he comes up with that. I don't know what it's going to be, but to me, it just sounds like fun. And knowing that there's potential for not fun in some other form or fashion means I want to let him just explore and be, and all you need to do is point them in ways, there's so many ways, it doesn't matter, point them in ways for them to embrace their gifts, okay? Whatever that is, dance, writing, art, music, theater, who cares? Whatever it is, just point them in that direction and say, here you go, buddy, okay? It doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be hard, but foster that gift that your child obviously has. Foster that enthusiasm and excitement, because as long as you go go after what you are excited to do, you're always going to find happiness. And when you find that happiness, you're always going to find financial stability. And I think that's what parents worry about the most. Well, if they do this, well, then they won't be able to have a job. They won't be able to hold down, you know, a such and such, and I'll have a kid like living in my basement for the rest of my life, okay? There's ways to go about this that's not going to happen, okay? So please don't worry. But my goal and my goal for you is to inspire you to search and find who you really are. And if you're watching and you're a creative person, that person is there for a reason, okay? Your creativity is there for a reason. Your talent is there for a reason. I didn't think mine was worth anything. And so I shoved it away for, when did I graduate? Almost 20 years ago, okay? Thinking that it was not valuable, thinking that it did not matter, thinking that it was just, oh, I guess this will just be a hobby the rest of my life. Not true, because in the meantime, I basically made myself miserable doing what I thought I was supposed to do, okay? So So one thing you can do today is to just ask yourself, if you really turned out to be the person you wanted to be when you were little, did you grow up to be that astronaut? Did you grow up to be the ballerina? Did you grow up to be the artist? Did you grow up to be the thing that you really wanted to be? And chances are good the answer is no. If it is, awesome. Please tell me all about it. But ask yourself, I mean, deep down, are you doing the thing that you actually always wanted to do? And just see what yourself answers with, okay? And if the answer is no, why not? And there's going to be a whole lot of reasons, okay? There's going to be a whole lot of fear, and that's all fine, and that's good. Write it down, okay? Just get it out. How did you get to this place? Because we often ask ourselves, how did I get here? Okay, and we don't reflect. You chose this, okay? You chose this path. You made these decisions to get here. And what I want to talk about instead in the next coming days and weeks is more than just growth mindset for our kids and for ourselves. I want to talk about creative mindset. Because this is not taught in schools, and from my brief 20-minute Google search, pretty much no one's teaching this. And it is a thing. It is a thing, and it's a thing that we desperately need. Because we are more than robots churned out by a system that's designed to create robots, essentially. And to me, you deserve joy and happiness and wonderment in your life. It's not about getting to Friday. It's not about working for the weekend. It's about doing the thing that brings you joy and excitement, and like, no more waiting until you're retired to do this kind of stuff, okay? And your kids deserve this too. And if they can, if we can teach them now that it's okay to embrace yourself and your gifts and the things that you were given. This is my gift. Like, this is what I was given. And I told myself for so many years, like, it's not good enough because it's not going to make money or whatever. And I ignored it, okay? So there's not a whole lot to, I want you to ask yourself that one question. But if this is you and you're still watching, because it's been a while, then I know this is definitely you. Tell me your story. Tell me your story in the comments. Let's just start a conversation. I don't have a group about this yet. I don't have, I'll have more content about this later, but just tell me your story or your kid's story in the comments. And I would love to read about you and where you've been and where you've come from and where you're going. Stacy, what's up, girl? Oh, I'm just wrapping up. But share with me your journey or your kid's journey, or if you have a question, I mean, just put it in the comments. I just want to start this conversation because it's really, really important and no one's talking about it. And that concerns me as someone that just got back here to who I am, and knowing that I made a lot of decisions along the way to put myself in a place that I then needed to get out of. It is very, very important to me that if you want to get out of the place that you are into the real you and into your own talents and gifts and things that you're good at, the things that you are absolutely like amazing at, and everyone knows it, but you don't think it's worth anything, let's talk. Because there is value in whatever it is that you're really wanting to do, okay? So thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I've seen like 3 of my favorite people on here, so this was so fun. It was obviously meant to be. And just hit me if you have questions. We're gonna keep talking about this. So yeah, you guys have a great Monday. I love you. Thank you for being here. You can do this. Your gifts matter, and they're meant to be shared with the world. I promise you that. All right? So have a great one, and I'll talk to you again soon.